I have a neighbor.
The answer is 1.
All right. Now, anyway.
What
What
I'm going to do, I'm going to sign back in right after for anybody who have any problems, any questions. All right. I will send you this
So the integral of this thing,
these sets of images or whatever. I will send it.
x over 3.
I will sign back in
So your mic do anything again?
Before removing the constant, I can pop in my limits. The integral from 1 to 3 would be equal to.
So what I'm saying is,
all I do now
So it's
take the 2 from here and
What
divide
is differential?
by 2. So I get 1.
What is integration?
I am going to sign back in.
What we
and you
started
can
by
sign back
telling
in
you
right
is that,
away.
you know what,
I will
now
send you the link for those who have
integration is
questions.
actually
All I had to do was
opposite.
things. All I
How
had
do I
to
know
do
send
was
problems on
the
the
plug in
So,
3, plug in
for
1,
example,
subtract, talk done. So when I plug in 3,
I'm going to,
what would I get?
to use this
So I'm going to get
example.
equals.
Right, let me just zoom in a little bit so that you're able to see. And this is straight from a textbook, but so you're looking at example 11, but this is vital stuff.
3 over 3 is 9 on 2 on 11. Right?
Right, so are you all seeing example 11, right? So everybody seeing example 11?
yes.
Right, so I'm looking at, in particular, I'm looking at this here. So this is the question.
So you're singing muffled.
If y is equal to
Yeah,
x
can you
over
hear me
3x plus 2,
Yeah.
A half
first
into
part says
3
show that dy
over
dx is
11
this thing,
minus
and hence or otherwise
1
show
over
that
5.
this is the case. Now,
Because
if
when
they
I plug
did
in
not
1,
tell you
get 5. So
hence or
minus 1
otherwise,
over 5.
and they just said hence,
All right.
meaning if they didn't say the
And now I
otherwise
just have to
part, and they
work
just
out
said
this
hence find
and
that.
I'm done.
What would you
right?
have done?
And
Well, really,
let's answer the
it's not a
question
difficult
first of all.
thing for you to do, as long as you just pop it in.
I'm going to
By
go
the
to the
way,
whiteboard.
when you
If
plug
y
it
is
in, you'll
equal
get
to
2 over
3x
55.
Sorry, x over 3x
As
plus 2.
my,
First of all, find dy dx. So
whether
show that
you
dy
have
dx is
calculator
this
or
guy
whatever
here.
you
All right.
want,
So
2
how
over
to do that?
55.
Well,
And that's your final answer
easy
for this
stuff.
question.
Everybody know how to
This
do
is how you are expected to do the thing.
X
all
over
right?
3x plus 2. So the question.
This was what they
the
asked you to
example.
do. If you had to do this using the otherwise,
really what
you might say, but otherwise is easy, sir. You just have to
we're
say
given
this
that
is
y is
equal
equal
to
to x
well,
over 3x
3x plus 2, take it to the top. It is going to be minus 2, right? So when I integrate it, you add 1 to the power.
What is dy
You
dx?
get minus 1
Well,
over a by minus 1.
remember how we used to do this?
Minus 3.
First of all, recognize that this is a
And you're
quotient
gonna
function.
plug in 1 and 3.
Not so everybody. X over 3x plus 2, this is a
you're supposed
quotient
to get the
function.
same answer. You will
Meaning
still get the
it's
same
a
2
function
and
over
55 when you plug
function,
in.
right? So I'm going to use
But
the
what I'm
quotient proof.
trying to
And the
illustrate to
long
you
way,
is that
what not the long way, the proper way to write up the
integrating
thing.
by
You have to say, you know what,
differentiating
sir, let
is
u
a
be equal to
valid
x,
and very important technique
let
and
v
method
be equal
to
3x
integrate
plus
functions
2.
that are sometimes very
Right.
complicated.
Cumberbatch would
In
say
this
that
question,
du dx
this is not
equal
very
to 1.
complicated function.
And
In this
Connors would say
question,
that dv
this
dx
is not a very complicated function. We
is
have a
equal
rule
to-
for this. The rule is ax plus b to the n.
what's dv dx?
And you should be able
3,
to
yes,
integrate
dv dx is 3.
that, right? Ax plus b to the
That's
n.
correct.
Sorry, I
Right
think
there.
I am.
Rubbish.
This is supposed to be a 2 here.
And using
Yeah, but so
the quotient
in this
rule,
situation, there's no problem. You could do the otherwise, but then
using
there
the
are problems
quotient
that
rule.
you will
What does the
see that
quotient
we're
rule
going to
tell
do
me?
now.
Using
That
the quotient rule.
The,
what
the
quotient rule
integrand
says that
itself, it's either
dy dx.
one, we do not have
Because remember
a
now, this is
direct
actually
method
u1v,
to
y is
integrate it
actually
from the
u1v.
list of integrals.
Y
Remember
is
the list of
u1v.
integrals, right?
So
The list of integrals only have like 4
the
rules
rule
in
is
it,
v
or 5 rules for the most.
times du dx
Integral of x to the n,
minus
integral
u
of ax plus b to the n,
times
integral of sine ax plus b, and integral of cos ax plus b. That's all. That's only 4 rules really for
dv
integrating.
dx. I just get in trouble with the pen that I'm using.
So
dv dx.
if the function is very complicated to integrate, we have to find workarounds or other techniques.
Sorry.
Just like
All over
just like
v
we were
squared.
dealing with. Well, I don't have the slide up here, but just like we dealt with sine squared and cos squared just now.
So if
Remember,
you substitute
we have
now
to find a workaround.
into
You have
the
to find a
formula,
method to integrate
you're
it.
gonna get
Although
3 by
it's
x
not on the list. It's not on the direct list. You have to
minus-
find a method to integrate it. So that is what this.
Sorry, you don't get 3 by x. You get
so
v
this section
du
is
dx,
about when
right?
we're talking about
So
these
v du
functions
dx is
that
going to be 3x plus 2.
we are going to use integration
1.
to do it. I'm sorry, differentiation to do it. Okay. So back onto
minus
the exercise
u
again.
by dv dx, which is 3 by x. Or x by 3,
Get back on
however
the
you want to say
exercise.
it. All right.
So,
All on v squared. All
so we
on
have some examples.
3x plus 2 squared. This is just some revision from last time. All right.
the differentiation. So what is 3x plus 2 by 1 minus 3x? In other words, what's the numerator here going to boil down to? Well, the numerator boils down to
maybe
3x plus 2 minus 3x, which is just 2 over 3x plus 2 squared.
So this is a
So we're
little
going to
bit
get
of
that
a
dy dx. And that's what the question asked me to show, right?
complicated.
That
I'm going to
dy
look at
dx,
number
you're gonna say
6 here
therefore
for us people.
dy
We'll
dx
look at
is
number
equal to
6, all right?
2 over 3x plus 2
So
squared.
10 of you here, I hope you're all following, right? We want to look at number 6, and if you look closely at number 6 says
Double check and make
differentiate
sure
x
you're
over
right,
root
right?
x squared plus 3.
Remember the minus, the 3x
Hence
here will
find
minus
this
with the
integral.
3x here. So you have 2 on the top alone
It
and the
should be
bottom
noted.
remains 3x plus 2 And I'm going to note it right here.
Right, so everybody,
This is what they want us to
know
find.
this. This is quotient rule for
Notice they didn't even say
differentiating
otherwise. They didn't
something
say
that
any
looks
hence
like
otherwise.
that.
They just said
Y
hence
is
because
equal
there's
to
no
this,
otherwise.
well then, and so
There's
on.
no
and so on.
otherwise.
So in other words,
okay? The otherwise,
sorry,
in other words,
there
we
is
were
no
given
otherwise.
that we cannot. There's no rule because if you look at this function, remember
y
this.
is
You might say, "But
equal
still
to
take it to the
x
top." But I will tell you. Look
over
closely. This is x squared plus 3 here, people.
3x plus 2.
This is x squared plus 3. X
So
squared plus
when I
3
differentiate
is,
it, we get
inside
that.
the function there. It's not a linear problem.
Function. It's a
Quadratic
quadratic function.
function.
So
We know
we don't
that.
have a rule.
But what
None
is
of
the
the rules in the
question
table
asked,
of integrals
though?
would
Let's go
apply
back to the question.
So
So you have to differentiate
meaning
x
let's go
over
back
root x
to
squared plus 3. All right. This may
what was the
take
original
some
thing that they
thing. It
asked.
may mean
So I
if I have
said,
to go over, I will just log off.
so
and
to
log
pay
back
attention
in
to what the
for,
question is.
just
It
like
said,
2 minutes to finish
hence-
the problem, right? But we have to finish the problem. So
hence find the
don't worry,
integral
we're not
from
going
1 to
beyond
3
our bedtime.
of
So
dx
x
over
over
3x
root
plus
x
2
squared plus
squared.
3. Let's go back to go back. To
What we are saying is that we are saying, you know what?
If the people did not say no, did not say otherwise, because otherwise, so the
Meaning
question is not using what we did above. Otherwise, we could have gone ahead and integrated this easily.
Find the difference.
Remember, this is the integral of 1 over
x
3x plus
over
2
root of x squared plus 3.
squared
Now,
dx, right? In the interest of time, and
And
to
I
integrate
know
this,
you all
you're going
are
to take it to the
supposed to be
top,
somewhat
3x plus 2
expert
to the
with
minus 2,
thing.
probably, integrate, right? And remember,
Recognize that
this
this
is
is plus
actually
1 over an plus 1
asking
and
me
you
to
plug in 1 and 3
differentiate
and you fix up.
x
Are we okay with that?
over
That is how I
x
would have
squared
done it
plus
if
3
they just told me straight off the bat,
to the
people,
power of
integrate
half
this,
here
you
at the
know?
bottom.
If they told you that.
Also
But they didn't tell
recognize
me.
that this is quotient
Now
rule.
the question I'm
You need
modifying to say,
quotient rule.
hence integrate
Quotient rule
that.
says v
Well,
du
so just
dx
follow the
minus
argument,
u
please, all right? So
dv dx
what
all
then
over v squared.
do we do? Well,
So v is always the bottom, u is always the top. So v
the integral
is
between
x squared plus 3 to the power
1 and
of
3
half.
of dx over 3x plus 2
By du
squared.
dx, the
How do I
differential
get
of the
that,
top
right?
is 1
How do I get that? Well,
minus u, which is x, by the differential of the bottom, which is the differential of x squared plus 3 to the half. This thing here, what's the differential of that? Bring down the power, reduce the power by 1. You see, differential
said
inside the
that
brackets multiplied by
integration is
differential inside the brackets is
anti-differentiation.
2x. So if we were to differentiate going this
All
way,
over v
all right,
squared.
people, which
Then
is going to be
Going this way.
all over v squared
I
simply
will have
means
to-
I can integrate x squared plus 3 to the half
and therein lies the
all
key.
squared, which is going to be x
Because
squared plus
effectively
3.
what we are saying that if I differentiate y
And basically this thing squared. Really, that's what
and
they're
I
asking
get
me.
2 over
Remember the
3x
square and the
plus 2
square will
squared.
cancel.
Then if I
Or the
integrate
square
this
times
guy,
a
if
half
I
would be
integrate
1 and x squared plus
this,
3 is all we're going to get. So,
then
so now we're going to
supposed to get
simplify.
back y, which is
simplify. So if you
x over
simplify
3x
now,
plus 2. That is the idea.
okay, maybe we should go one step again. So it's going to
So-
be x squared plus 3. How do I say it? Well, this is what I'm going to do. The column
I'm
is
gonna say
writing,
since-
I'm not finding I'm writing good yet on this thing. I think it's maybe because of my finger is a problem. Because I told you about my thumb, my right hand.
d dx.
So minus, so
Of
2x
x
by a
over
half
3x
is
plus
1, x by x is x squared
is equal
into,
to
and they
x
showed me
squared
this,
plus
I had to
3
show this before, right? Is equal to 2 over
to the
3x plus
minus
2.
half.
That's now all over, just simply x squared plus 3. Okay, to erase this out of there. Because square and square will cancel.
3x plus 2.
All right, Johnson, is Johnson back on here, right? Yes, great, great. So you follow so far? Yeah? Great.
Since
Okay.
the differential
Now
of
I have
x
to
over 3x
remember
plus
how
2
we
is
simplify this thing.
equal
Remember,
to
it's factorize out
2
the
over
top.
3x plus 2
Usually
all
it's factor
squared.
out the top and so on.
Then it would follow that.
Let's fix up then. Well, what is the HCF of the top? Well, remember its highest
integral
common factor is the lowest power. So
of
it's x squared plus 3
2
to the
over
minus a
3x plus
half.
2.
So
Where did this come from?
x squared plus 3 to the minus a half with respect to x, right, be equal to, so x over 3x plus 2
plus 3.
This is actually the fundamental theorem of calculus. This is actually the basis behind integration. The integration is anti-differentiation. Of course, you might say, so what about the plus c? Well, in this case in particular,
when I
the
factor
plus
that
c
from
is
the
not important. Why? The plus c doesn't come into play because we just differentiated the
It's
thing.
going to be x squared plus 3
Above
to the
here, we
power of
just
1.
differentiated the thing. So
We
we know,
1 times minus half is minus half.
effectively, we know that
Minus.
if I differentiate this, you get this. So if I integrate
all divided
this,
by x
you will
squared
get
plus
this.
3.
That's the whole basis behind the thing,
So
the whole
this is
basis
equal
is
to
that
x squared plus 3.
integration is the
So
anti-differentiation.
before I
So
continue,
are we all following the argument so
recognize
far?
if you're not following, just unmute your mic and say, so I'm not following this
This is
argument
really
so
to the
far.
power of 1.
Or I just go for
So
that
now,
again or whatever.
these
Make
two
sure and
things
say
here
it,
we can cancel.
Right.
All right.
So when you cancel, what do we get?
So there's
Well,
only 3 halves. X squared plus 3, since
to the
the
minus a
differential
half
of this
is,
x over 3x plus 2 equals
divide by
2 over 3x
x squared
plus 2 all
plus 3.
squared. The integral of 2 over 3x plus 2 squared would be equal to
This is like
x
saying
over
a
3x
to
plus
the
2.
minus a half.
But guess what?
over a.
Remember,
Of course,
the
people know that this
question
would
give
be
me limits, right?
e
The
to
question
the
wants it, in fact,
minus 3 on 2.
this is what the question is asking. The question is asking, find the integral from 1 to 3 of,
e to the minus 3 on 2.
they write it like this, dx
Now,
over 3x plus 2 squared.
So
question asks
when
it
I
like
do
that,
this, I will end up with, go back to
We
the
know
drawing.
that
Yeah.
this is the same
We're
thing.
going to get x squared.
The
plus
dx
3.
there, they like to put the dx there sometimes in notation. Sorry.
This is to the minus 3 on 2 times, and inside the square brackets there, there's going to be 3.
Really, this is
Because
what
x squared take away x squared is
they're
0.
asking.
Correct? X squared
But
take away x
if I
squared is
look at
0.
what I have,
So,
first of all,
so
what I
far,
have here,
so far so
I
good
have
really.
2.
All we did so far is really differentiate.
Furthermore, I
That's
don't
all we
have
did so
limits,
far. All we did so far
We're
is
going to fix all
differentiate.
that now and show you how it's
And,
easy to fix. Easy to just generalize the answer.
My answer is just going to
So
be
this
3
implies
over x squared plus 3.
That's the integral.
To the
Now
power of
remember,
3 on
we're allowed to take a constant outside the
In other
interval
words,
sign.
on my
Remember
answer,
that?
I mean the
This is
derivative.
really, this
all right?
implies the 2
The
times
differential
the
of this
integral
guy.
from 1 over 3x plus 2.
So the first part was quotient rule, and that's
Very
what we're
good.
doing. Huh? That's what we're saying so
Yeah.
far. So
1 over
really,
3x plus 2 squared. Undo. Really, all we said is that
dx
ddx is equal to x over
of
3x plus 2.
x over
So
square
take
root
out the 2
of
outside.
x squared plus 3.
And because it's an equation, I can divide throughout by the constant too.
right?
ddx
Or
of
I can
x over
multiply
square root
throughout
of x
by
squared plus
half.
3
However
is
you
equal
want
to
to
3
think of
over
it, I
x
can
squared plus
divide
3
throughout
to
by
the 3 on
2.
2. When I divide throughout by 2, then
Equal to
what happens? This
3
2 disappears
over
from here,
x squared
2
plus 3
and,
to the
and
power of 3
dividing,
on 2.
when I divide left side by 2, I get this, and I divide this side by 2, I'm going to get a half here.
So,
right?
the question said to find the integral
So,
from minus 1 to 1 of
when I
3
integrate,
over, sorry, not
effectively
3,
what you get is,
of
this is my
simply
function
1
when I
over
integrate.
x squared plus 3.
So, the question was asking me the integral from 1 to 3 of
3
this
on
thing
2.
here. So all
That's
I
what the
have to do
question
now
asked me.
is
Well, guess what, guys?
just
That is
stick in my
equal to
limits from 1 to 3 here,
1/3
and
times x over square root of x squared plus 3.
it's very easily going to fall into
Let me
place.
write it neat.
Sticking my limits
1/3
from 1
times the
to 3
square
all
root
the
of
way
x
here,
squared plus 3
and I just put 1 to 3.
from minus 1 to
That's
1.
all I'm doing.
And how is that the case? How?
That's all
Well,
I'm doing.
remember,
So,
over here,
I have to.
sorry, if
Yeah.
I leaving the call is because my phone died and I don't have access to a charger at the moment.
Let's
So
go
it's
it
not
over
that I'm
again.
leaving. So I don't want to
okay,
hear.
since the
Okay,
differential of
all right.
this is this,
So if so what I do is I divide
then
divide
the
both sides by
integral
3
of
here.
this
Basically, that's what we said. We divide by 3.
would be equal to x.
this
Well,
3 will come
actually,
across,
the integral
divide.
of 2 over 3x plus 2
No
squared
problem.
from 1
And then
to
take the
3
integral
would be
from
simply
minus 1 to 1.
y
Right? So this is just simply going to be now
from 1 to 3.
into,
And we're going to pop in the limits
well,
on the
when I
top
plug
and
in
bottom.
1 over root of 1 plus 3, root of 4.
So I don't actually have to integrate anything.
So your mic,
That's when I plug in 1. And when I plug in minus 1, we'll get minus 1 over 3. Minus 1 squared is 1, 3 and 1 is 4, root of 4 is 2. So that's what I get. So my answer, a half minus minus half is a half plus a half, which is 1. The answer is 1/3.
Hello?
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Okay, all right, thanks, yeah.
Uh,
Mike, yeah.
yes.